What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, Just As TV. Thank you guys for stopping by. I know I have been gone for a week. Sometimes I gotta decompress. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. I know that's not a long time, but sometimes I gotta decompress. A lot of the times that these shows can be a little bit overwhelming for me. So I just wanted to put something out, and because I missed you guys actually. And yeah, so welcome back. Thank you guys for stopping by. We're gonna get right into it. Love During Lockup, final episode. This kind of concludes our journey with these couples, and let's get right into it, child. So we start off with Candice getting pampered. She getting all dolled up because this is something that Andrew had paid for a while ago, and she's going to take advantage of it because, that's what users do. That is what users do. They capitalize. So she's going to capitalize. She feels like a little woman. She's smiling from ear to ear. So apparently something going down. But we'll see. Forgive me, I got a little cough. So forgive me. So Andrew's at the house and he's kind of like sulking. He's about to leave, I don't know. I feel like he is kind of in that discard. She's in discard mode, and Andrew is feeling the brunt of it now. It's starting to set in. He's about to leave. He's trying to hold on, but he kind of like deep down in his heart, he knows what's what, because she's in discard mode already, so he can feel it. And when you are being discarded, you can feel it because you want to get back to point A, but it feels like that point A goal is so far away, and I could see it on his face that he knows and he feels it, but he needs to hear the words. So she's enjoying the service that he paid for. She's kind of like, he didn't take back anything because when he left off the last episode, she kind of like put it in his head like, oh, are you gonna leave me the car, or are you gonna allow me to stay in the apartment? So she's kind of like buying herself more time. So he went back to Jersey. He's headed back to Jersey. He's not taking back the house, taking back the car, taking back the apartment, taking back the truck, any of that. Not yet, Even though she really doesn't want to be bothered with him, she still wants to use him and benefit from him. Even with the conversation that she had on the phone, she's like, oh, everything is going well. I'm living with my fiance. I have an apartment. We have an apartment together, so she's still capitalizing off of him or benefiting from what he has given her in this year and a half relationship. And he, to the point where he even calls her PO to make sure that everything is copacetic. If y'all know what that means, she even says like something like, oh, he's real stable. And so just the convincing and the deceiving, like the deception and the lies and stuff like that is a little bit daunting because it just sucks to see this play out. Andrew agrees to let her stay in the house with no conditions, which she made that very clear in their conversation, because she kept saying, are you going to let me keep the apartment with no conditions? Like, they tell you what their motives are up front. And it's up to you to, like, snap out of that fantasy and realize what they're doing and what they're saying. So he lets her keep the apartment with no conditions. So that means that he's going to be paying her rent and that car note for however long they figure things out. Okay, I'll say that. For however long they figure things out, he's gonna be paying that car note and that apartment rent. So what annoyed me the most is that she doesn't even plan on seeing him before he leaves. And she made that clear, like, oh, I don't want to see you. I don't feel like I need to be there. And he wanted her to be there to see him off. And she doesn't, you know, she doesn't really want to, she doesn't want to be bothered with him. And I'm just being honest. She doesn't want to be bothered with him, which is sad. Instead of her just telling him that and then her cutting her losses and he cutting his losses and they move on, she wants to string this on as long as she can so she can get as much as she can get from him, which is crazy, you know. And she says to us that all of the things that, you know, that he's been doing for her and giving to her, they're all too good to let go. So that right there gives you her motive. That right there tells you again what she's been telling us, but she's saying the words out of her mouth finally. So we shoot back to Teeny, and she's picking up Rob, you know, because today is his release day. He's finally getting out after 16 years, which is, that's a long time, to be honest. That is a long time to be locked up. And he's only, I think, 34. That's a long time to be, since 19, 18, child, that's a long time. So they're excited, her and her son, because the daughter couldn't make it, if y'all remember. But they're excited, you know, to pick him up, you know. I feel like they're doing too much in front of that kid, kissing and all of that, grabbing it. Like, that's just too much in front of a 9-year-old. Because I think that's how old he is. It's just too much. Cause to the point where he even knows that he got to, like, turn away. But they still not considering, like, how that looks in front of him. But it is what it is. You know, she says he's her best friend, and she's happy and she's excited. And I mean, it looks promising, so we'll see how it goes. You know, he wants to be an asset to the society again. He wants to, you know, turn his life around and stuff like that. And, you know, the talk is good, and it seems like it's going to be good. I just feel like this relationship is a little bit different from the other relationships, but we'll see as things go along. You know, Rob he comes out, he's taking in the moment. He has to get a breath of fresh air. He wants to walk around and, you know, get a feel of being out in the freedom. And I understand it. 16 years is a long time to be locked up. You know, so he has to process, which is understandable, that they can have that communication and understand one another. She checks on him to make sure he's okay. He's okay. You know, the son gets out and they're just chilling together. So, you know, it's the acclimation, and I understand it. You know, Rob is looking forward to his life with his family. And I like that, because he is factoring all of them in. It's not like a discard or, oh, I was just using you for the time that I was here, this, that, and the third. Like, it's none of that stuff. It's none of that stuff. So I could dig that. I like, you know, that he is really hyper-focused on his family and doing well, which is good. It shows that he's going in a positive direction, which is great. Ayonna is released today. She did her 15 days in prison, and she's done. You know, she said it wasn't a good, but it wasn't bad. And I'm just like, what does that mean? I don't know, girl. Her first text she starts reading is Jamal's text. You know, of course, that is her main focus, Jamal. You know, but it is what it is. She's waiting to be picked up by her grandmother. I got gnats in here. She's waiting to be picked up by her grandmother. And her grandmother's late and she's upset. And I think she hitched a ride to like the nearest stop. And I'm just like, people still do that? People still hitchhike? But then again, y'all know what? I can't even front. The other day, I'm riding home, like a couple of months ago. I'm riding home and I'm riding up the the street that I always ride. And I actually seen this guy putting his thumb out like if he was hitching too. So I'm thinking that people still hitch rides. That is crazy. In 2024, it is what it is, you know. It is what it is. You know, she's talking like she's going to get her life together, you know, for her children, which a lot of people say when they get out of jail, but actions speak louder than words. So I will only time will tell us what she's really going to do with herself and her life and her children. But we'll see. Time will tell. Joey is at his parents' house. You know, he's gearing up to go and visit Michael for the first time. And he's nervous. He's excited, but he's also nervous because he doesn't know what the outcome is going to be. He kind of wants to have a serious conversation with Michael about his drug use and what he's going to do to clean himself up and get on the right track, you know, because that is a deal breaker for him. He wants Michael to get it together. He wants him to stop the drug use. He wants him to clean up himself, you know, clean up his act and stuff like that. But the crazy thing is, all of these conversations that they're having, these serious conversations that he's having, Michael still hasn't found the time to tell him that he's possibly facing up to 6 years in prison. It's crazy to me. I don't understand how you could bypass all of that. I don't know. Rick meets with his niece, Veronica, the same correctional officer that has been, you know, trying to like walk him through the process and the situation from the beginning. He tells her that things are not going well, you know, because of the finance situation and the fact that he might possibly have to get another job in order to support Samantha. And he doesn't really want to do that. He's saying that right now, the way his finances is set up, he is comfortable. He's okay. He's okay with his ex-wife getting her portion and then him living off of the other portion of it. But he doesn't want to have to do anything extra to support Samantha. And, you know, that's what he's learned within their 6 weeks of marriage, that, you know, she's going to be more of a financial burden to him than anything else. And he doesn't feel like he wants to take on that, you know. He doesn't want to take on that responsibility. But I feel like you had enough time to assess what was going on. Your niece even told you how they operate, and you kind of ignored that, and which he owns up to and says that he ignored the red flags. But I feel like you didn't have to get into the marriage. You can ignore the red flags and just be dating her. But you didn't have to get into a marriage knowing that you had these red flags. Veronica is really, really mad because, you know, she's a correction officer and she's been telling him how things work out for the longest, but yet he chose to not listen to her, and now he's feeling the ramifications of not listening to her or not trusting his gut. That's on him, because he was adamant about this marriage. But one thing I can give it to Samantha is she really concealed her true feelings until they actually got married. So it is what it is, you know. Samantha thinks that Rick is cheating on her, so that's why she feels like he's being distant and stuff like that. But the real reason is, it's the finances, and he's been telling you that for the longest. You're not listening. He said it on the last, I think, 2 calls that y'all had. It's the finances. But girl, you do what you want to do. Rick goes to consult a lawyer about getting the marriage dissolved. But we'll see. You know, Veronica feels like she needs a drink because this is all too much for her child. And I'm with you, Veronica. I'm here with you. He needs to let it go. Anyway, I feel like I was singing that the whole last review. Andrew and Candice, child. Andrew is leaving. So he writes Candice a letter, you know, because she isn't there to see him off. And he's not done convincing her to keep him around. So he writes the letter. I feel like with Andrew and Candice situation, I'm going to say this to y'all. Letting go is easier said than done, especially when you're in this kind of relationship and you are sold on the fantasy. I'll say that. When you're sold on the fantasy, letting go is easier said than done. But he's still in the moment. So he's still processing. He's still dealing. But I just feel like he knows deep down that this is done. That she was using him. So I don't understand. Like, I'm at the point and age of my life where you just gotta tell me once, and it's all right. I'm out. Like, the feelings are dissolved. is gone. Like, I don't have that kind of time nowadays. And I feel like Andrew should be there too, but I guess not. But we'll probably see him on another season with another inmate, because that's what he seems like he does. Andrew has a good heart, and she's just using it, taking advantage of his good heart. So y'all drop that in the comments and let me know if y'all agree with me. Like, good people who have good morals and stuff like that, they constantly get taken advantage of by predators, and I feel like she is one of them. She just preyed on his good heart, and she's taking advantage of it, and she's stomping it. He left the truck, and he left her with the apartment. He's just better than me. I feel like he's better than me. I would have paid whatever I needed to pay to break that lease, and I would have drove that truck back to Jersey, and she would have had to figure it out. I wouldn't have gave her 3 months. He's lucky. I would. He's better than me, because I would have. The day I left, she would have came to a big surprise with that lease being broken, and the people locking her out, and the truck is gone because I done took it with me to Jersey. It is what it is. Because regardless of what, he wants to still have a longer distance relationship with her, but he's going to be out every month until he figures it out. $2,000, because I think the truck payment he said was like $7 and change, and the rent was like $12 and change, or $1,300. That's a little bit over $2,000 each month that he, every time, as long as he stays with her, that is what he's going to be out for that duration of time. So if it's a year, he's going to be out $2,000 a month for a year. If it's 5 months, he's going to be out $2,000 for 5 months, which that $2,000 is $10,000. It turns into like about $10,000 that he could have saved or put back to his pension that he took away. Why would you string it along? It is what it is. I would take away everything and then see how much she wants to stay. She would have to prove it to me. Yeah. So they fast forward 3 months, and we see Candice in a car holding hands with somebody. They're not showing his face, so I'm assuming it's another guy and it's not Andrew. That right there tells you she done strung Andrew along for 3 more months. So that's $6,000 that he's out because he didn't want to let go. He didn't want to let go because she told him before he left, but he didn't want to let go. So he's out another $6,000. It's on him. Joey makes it to the facility. The cameras can't go into the facility to film him and Michael's reunion, and it seems like everything went well. He comes back out smiling. They're talking. They've talked about some stuff, discussed some stuff, and I'm assuming that Michael told him what he needed to hear because he's happy. He feels like Michael is gonna change and he's gonna be on the right track again, or he's gonna get his stuff together when he gets out. So I'm assuming that Michael told him what he needed to hear in order to placate him for another couple of however longs. But we'll see. We'll keep it up. I'm sure he'll be back because Michael still hasn't told him about him possibly doing up to 6 years, and I don't think he's gonna stay. I'm gonna stick to that. I don't think that Joey is gonna stay with Michael for that duration of time when he finds out. But we'll see. So Shantae shows up to, I think, Big Mama's restaurant or something like that, diner, to meet her friend. She discusses that that being with True and taking care of True is a huge financial burden for her. And she's paying, I think she said like an extra $4,000 a month on top of her other expenses to support him. And I'm just like, where are you getting this money from? You got like 2 or 3 kids at home that you got to take care of. You have the house that you moved to out there, and then a house that you're trying to sell. She got a lot going on, and everything is adding up, and the bills is weighing on her, so she feels some kind of way. Her job found out about True and said that that's not the image that they want to portray, that they want her to portray for them as a supervisor, because I think she was a supervisor or something like that. So they took away her bonus, and they demoted her, so that's less money. She says she's looking for something else, but she's gonna keep this job until she finds something new. And I'm just like, girl, the odds are stacked against you. When you start losing, that means there's a problem. When you start losing, that means that there's a problem and you need to correct. So you need to take corrective measures. And I'm thinking now that the financial burden is so heavy on her, she's starting to realize that he's pretty much taking advantage of her. It is what it is. That's on her. Again, she doesn't want to let go. She's holding on. All the clues are there. The mother, the sister, even him with the pictures, like all the clues are there. You are still holding on. But we'll see. She doesn't care. At this point, she doesn't really care about the financial matter right now, but because she still wants to continue with him. She's going to wait until he gets out and then see how it goes from there. And I'm just like, that's a long time, and that's more money out of your pocket. Why wait? It is what it is. She said she had $50,000 saved up before they got into a relationship. And she really can't afford his lifestyle because he's always talking about how he needs clothes, and clothes cost hundreds of dollars. He wants these new Jordans that's like $250 for him and stuff like that. And I'm just like, but you have kids to take care of, and you're doing all of this stuff for somebody in prison. Get your priorities straight, ma'am. And how are you supposed to open a restaurant when you are out $4,000 each month? That's $4,000 that could be going towards your restaurant. Or $4,000 you could be spending towards taking a culinary class to improve your skills so that you can have a great restaurant, or help your restaurant. Like, I don't know. I don't understand these people. I deal with numbers and figures and money, and these numbers speak volumes. Andrew, her, thousands of dollars. You know what I could be doing with that money? Child, it's a no. Shantae's friend thinks that True is selfish, like a selfish little teenager who just wants, and that's how it's going to be when he gets out. And I agree. I feel like he's talking to multiple women. I feel like he's using her for his money, and he's taking advantage of her, and everybody sees it but her. She's starting maybe to realize, that's what I'm getting, but she's not fully there yet, so she's still gonna kick out more money. Girl, go ahead. I don't understand why she stays knowing that she feels like she's gonna run out of money. And so she says that when the money runs out, so will True's love. And if you feel like that, why stay with him? Why put yourself through it? Why get to the finish line knowing that when your money runs out, so will he? That makes no sense. If I came to that realization, I would never stick around long enough to see it through fruition. Absolutely not. She thinks her relationship now is a mistake, so she's gonna pray on it. And I'm hoping God gives you the answers that you are looking for, sis, because he's not it. Rick meets with a lawyer because he wants to dissolve the marriage. Samantha says she's not going to give up, and she's getting out in the next few months. She feels like he's cheating on her, which he probably is. I'm telling you, the way them girls was throwing their puss at him, child, he was on it. He likes to be the life of the party. So and you holding him back now. He's saying it's financial and his feelings have changed. I don't understand how. I can understand the financial part, but I understand how your feelings change because she's the same person that you've been talking to all this time and sending money to all this time. It is what it is. Samantha calls while he's at the lawyer, and she wants to make sure that he's actually done. He's saying, I don't know. He's confused. He doesn't know, but he still feels like he doesn't want to be in this financial situation. The lawyer tells him that he has to be serious about it, and he has to be, it has to be concrete. It is, he has to be stern about it, which I agree. You can't be wavering. If you're going to do it, just do it and get it over with. Like I said, I think you got like 78 days or something like that in order to absolve a marriage after you get married with no like real consequence or no real penalty. The lawyer explains to him that, you know, if he waits until she gets out of jail, he could spend like tens of thousands of dollars trying to dissolve this marriage because she's going to fight back. But being that she's in prison, she can't really do much. So he should do it now. You should have never done it. I feel like that was a waste. Even going to the pawn shop was a waste, child. But you know, you do what you do. 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 Ayonna is finally home, you know, going to her house after she meets up with her grandmother and her daughter. She calls her son to check in. She talks to her son like they homies as opposed to like mother and son, but it is what it is. Some people just have different relationships. It's okay. They go to get some food. You know, she's talking too much. She's telling the waiter that she just got out of prison and she want to eat, and he looking at her like, oh my gosh. But anyway, they eat. She changed her clothes. She feels like a new woman. She said the food in prison was horrible, so she needs some really good food. There's no seasoning. Okay, Jamal calls. They say that they miss each other, and it was hard for him not talking to her. You know, he said he wants to marry her no matter what. It's just not the right time. They're gonna figure it out. You know, she tells her grandmother that she thinks because of the fact that she was in prison that their relationship got stronger. And I'm just like, how? I guess absence make the heart go fonder. I'm not sure. Y'all tell me. I don't know. Whatever. You know, she's ready to move on, i.e. marriage, like move forward, i.e. marriage. But we'll see. My suspicions were confirmed with Candice, because then they finally pan up a little bit and show some guy face. So Candice is in lovey-dovey relationships with somebody else 3 months after Andrew left. And, you know, they living it up on Andrew's dime in his car. The homeboy is driving his car. They living in his apartment. He's paying this rent that they don't have to pay for. Child. Wait, I just want to see. I wish they did a love during lockup recap and them having conversations with the cast, i.e. the people that are not in prison, once they've watched the season. I wish they did that because I really want to know how Andrew is feeling after seeing that. So we found out that this guy his name is Ishmael, and they've been together for 5 to 6 years. Now she's only been with Andrew for a year or a year and a half, almost a year and a half, but she's been with Ishmael for 5 to 6 years. And 6 months into their relationship, he went to prison, and then she went to prison after that. She explains to us that Andrew was literally just a meal ticket, and it is what it is, and she was saying it in front of Ishmael. So apparently they've already discussed this. Child. The moment she got out, when they showed her messaging in the car, she was messaging Ishmael to check the temperature and see what was what, to see if they still had, you know, something was going on. Once he gave her the okay, that's when she started acting shady towards Andrew. And I told y'all, she was only out for 2 days. He was trying to put in the effort for the relationship. She wasn't. I told y'all that in my last review, that she wasn't. And it was something about her. I thought she was in a relationship with a girl who she was her friend with, and they were just posing as friends. But now we found out the real deal, that she was actually in a relationship with Ish. Child. That's why she started acting the way she did towards Andrew, because she wanted to push him away intentionally. I told you it was intentionally done. She knew what she was doing. She was calculated. And then, so I just kind of pieced together that the fiance that she was talking to the PO about was Ish, not Andrew. We assumed that it was Andrew because we hadn't met Ish yet. But in reality, she was talking about Ish. Child, this girl, she's a special one. So she now tells us that she didn't love Andrew, even though in the confessionals and all of that stuff, last episode she said she did. And that little smile I showed y'all, I told y'all she was lying. She said that she didn't love Andrew. It was just the gifts and the money. We already knew that. I kind of picked that up off go. But so you wasn't really fooling nobody but Andrew. And I'm sure you guys already knew that she wasn't fooling y'all either. Child, y'all smart just like everybody else. And these two bozos is laughing at the expense of Andrew. He's the joke. And that's sad that you can take advantage of somebody like this and use their feelings like this and then laugh about it with your new boyfriend. That's why God don't like ugly, and you're going to be dealt with accordingly. So we get back to Andrew's house in Jersey, and he's unaware of what's going on with Candice and her situation and stuff. He's still in lovely La La Land, reading a card that she sent him and a note, and talking about he want to get something tattooed, something that she wrote tattooed on him. And I'm just like, child, snap out of it, Andrew. Snap out of it. Snap out of it, because he's still fantasizing about their relationship. He's still in La La Land. He's still caught up in delusion. Child, she done moved on. She got a whole new boo that she's in a whole relationship with and not scared of physical touch and none of that stuff. See how ironic that is, child? That's why I told y'all she's funny. She just didn't want to mess with Andrew because she was waiting on Ishmael to come bang that back out. Child. She still got the truck and she still got the apartment. 3 months later, or however many months this is now, because the first recap was 3 months. I don't know how many months this is now. So he, like I said, he's out of $6,000 because she want to play this little game. She even says in her confessionals that she's gonna string this along as long as she can possibly do it. The long distance relationship. So she's still stringing him along, and Ish is okay with it. And so they take his money, they ride around in that truck of his, and just don't care about anything. This dude could have gone financially broke and y'all wouldn't even care. But it is what it is. Y'all do what y'all want to do. And that kind of like brings us to the end of the season. Recaps it all. They give a little recap on all the players in this season. Jamal is set to be released this year, I think. And Ayonna wants a proposal immediately, which I don't think she's going to get. And she's probably going to be very disappointed and have a crazy little fit. 5-year-old, then they tantrums. It is what it is. Samantha's release date got pushed back, and Rick did actually file for divorce. So he will be getting a divorce with him, and he ends up meeting up with one of the ladies from the party. I can't remember her name, child, but that was the one who was in the phone talking about, oh, y'all together? Are y'all together? That one. She was throwing it on him quick. I don't think that he stopped messing with her after the party. I think she was still trying to get at him after the party. And he probably was, child, in her DMs. They look cozy. Joey is still waiting for Michael. And, his mom recovered, thank God. But, like I said, I don't know how long he's going to be waiting for Michael, because Michael didn't tell him about that possible 6-year bid that he's about to be doing. Shantae doesn't know if she's going to stay with True. And I feel like go with your gut. Leave. Because he's financially draining you as well. Teeny and Rob, they're enjoying their life. They look like they're having a great time. I am happy for them. They incorporated the kids. It's not like it doesn't seem like a creepy situation, so I am okay with it. I would like an update on them to see, child. We gonna see, but I'm happy that they were the ones that did it. Their relationship seemed more stable than anything. Any of the couples on there, so I'm glad to see them happy and vacationing and enjoying life. Good for them. Candice officially breaks up with Andrew. Thank you. Let him go heal. Let him get his life together. Let him deal with the breakup and move on, and let him stop spending his money. He broke the lease of the apartment. Great. Thank you, Jesus. And he took back the truck. Another thank you, because he should have done that when he left. But no, he didn't. She kept the ring, and it looks like she's gonna use it with the Ishmael so that they could live happily ever after and get married, child. That's what it looked like to me. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Y'all drop that in the comments and let me know what y'all think about this whole relationship-ish show. I'm glad it's over. Y'all let me know if y'all glad it's over too. I just feel like, I feel sad for Andrew because he had to experience it firsthand and deal with it with this girl. But I'm happy for him that he could now kind of like lick his wounds and move on. I hope he doesn't fall into another situation like this. But the way Andrew is built, I think he will. You know, yeah, I'm glad it's over. Y'all drop that in the comments and let me know if y'all glad it's over too. It was a little draining for me, to be honest. Even as y'all can tell, I'm not in high spirits doing this review because I'm just like, child, this is a whole-ish show. But we'll see you guys for the next one. Hopefully, we'll see. Thank you guys for stopping by. If you survived it this far, don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. I am almost at my goal. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.